This is Matthew Boyer from BigBrotherNetwork.com with Big Brother house guest Frank. Hi Frank, tell Big Brother Network readers about you, your background, who you are, what you do.
I am 28 years old and I am currently living in Naples, Florida, but originally from Marion, Arkansas. I am a big fan of the show. I've been watching since season 6, and this is actually my 3rd year trying out in a row, so I'm glad to finally be getting on it.
Awesome. So after 3 years, what made you want to audition in the first place, and what kept you auditioning?
Well, you know, I guess I wanted to audition because I was a fan of the show. I'd watch it, and at the time, I was out of work 3 years ago, and I was like, hey, there's an open call in Nashville. I'm a personable guy. I'm competitive, and I can compete physically as well as mentally, I think. So I thought, hey, why not? You know, I think this would be a fun experience. You know, obviously, going on Big Brother, you're a fan of the show. You know that the idea of it is it's very exciting. And so getting into that house is something that just is something that I wanted to do. And then once I got closer and closer each year, it was just like, God, I mean, this is actually possible. So it just made me want it even more and more.
That's awesome. All right, so on the Big Brother fan scale, how would you rank yourself going up? Pretty far up there?
Yeah, I'd have to say a 10.
Yeah? Awesome. That's what we like. It's game is so much better for the viewer when you got someone that knows what's going on and what you've got a plan to do. So that takes us into, surely you've got a strategy, you've got a plan.
Absolutely.
Are you going to do social, physical, alliance, floater? What are you thinking?
Well, there's a couple different aspects, obviously. One thing, since I am a big fan, I've kind of thought about going into the house and kind of playing that down a little bit, you know, with the house guest, because sometimes a strong working knowledge of the game can be looked at as a threat. And so depending on what type of people are in there, because if there's a bunch of super fans in there, obviously I'm not going to say that, because then they might think the opposite. And so as far as my alliances go, I've got this idea of a dream team. You know, just like the 92 Dream Team, a starting 5, because obviously numbers are important. But I want to get me a Michael Jordan and a Larry Bird type situation where it's 2 guys or women, you know, it doesn't matter the sex. I want 2 people who are going to compete so hard every competition just because they don't want to lose. And then a Charles Barkley type person, just this big immovable object, somebody whose face you don't want to get into because they want to get in your face.
Right.
And this Patrick Ewing type guy who's just loyal and reliable as can be, and then I want to be running point like magic.
Nice. All right, so being a fan of the game, you know that integrity and honesty, these are things that come up a lot. Where do you draw the integrity line? Will you lie, cheat, steal, showmance, whatever it takes to win, or?
I want to play a game where I feel like I'm a nice guy outside of the house, and I'm a friendly guy, and I never want to attack anybody personally, and I want to do the same thing inside the house. But at the same time, I consider myself a very good liar, and I think that lying and manipulation is an important part of the game if you need it to be. It has to be something that you're willing to do if the opportunity arises.
So looking over the past seasons, which house guest do you think you'll be most similar to?
Okay. See, that's an interesting question. Like, for instance, like if I had to say my favorite player, I would probably say Dan. But if I had to say somebody who I would probably play my game a lot like and come across, I'd probably say Mike Boogie. I consider myself kind of this entertaining, kind of loud personality type person, but Mike Boogie at the same time, I never remember him losing his cool or getting angry with people, and that's something I definitely plan on, you know, doing.
Awesome. Okay. So on the flip side of that, who's a past house guest that you would want to be nothing like?
Obviously, I mean, this is an easy one, like people like Shima, people who get on there and just complain the whole time about everything to the point where they're not on it anymore. And because I want to be on the show with fans, because since I love and appreciate the show, I want to be on there with people who love and appreciate the show too, and are really want to take part in the experience and be on Big Brother.
Nice. All right. So you get into the house, you start to meet people. What sort of personalities do you think you'll be drawn to, and what kind will you clash against?
I usually get along with most people. You know, I don't think I'll clash a whole lot, but definitely there's those people out there who are going to look at you, and just from the cut of your jib, they're going to immediately go, I don't like this guy, and there's nothing that I'll be able to say or do to change their mind. And that's definitely the type of people I'd rather not see in there. I know there's going to be somebody like that, maybe more than one. But obviously people like me who are fans of the show, if possible, and competitive people who I can depend on, so I don't have to head a household every week, that I can maybe go, hey, they've got it this week, or they're gonna be competing their butt off, so I can, not get the blood on my hands this week, and I can let them do something and not have to worry about getting sent home.
Nice.
And definitely some good-looking girls.
All right, well, it is Big Brother, so hopefully. So there have been a lot of seasons of Big Brother, lots of ex-house guests with defining traits. You've got Amber the Crybaby, Dr. Will, Dr. Evil, Janelle, one of the greatest players, Howie, Overdrive Libido. What do you think your Big Brother legacy will be, whether it's good or bad?
Yeah.
And is there anything in your personality that you think viewers will latch on and come to know you for?
You bring up Janelle, I can almost see myself as a male Janelle, because I do consider myself this super competitive guy, and with a working knowledge of the game like she has, I think I'll be able to compete physically and mentally in the competition. She was also very friendly. People liked her a lot. She's a good-looking girl. And I'm not the worst-looking guy, I guess, but my head of hair definitely helps me out, I think.
All right, so talk about what we know Big Brother for, twists and surprises. Imagine it's the first night in the house and all the house guests are gathered in the living room. Julie Chen comes on the screen and announces that this season's twist is your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
What is it?
I'd probably have to say if somehow somebody like my dad was in there, somebody who knew enough embarrassing stories about me that I could never live it down, there'd be nothing I could do to overshadow it.
So talk about, there with your dad, does, having a past history of media and, achievement motivate you here?
Well, I don't, I guess since my dad was a professional wrestler, Sid Vicious, and I did grow up watching him on TV, and I also saw, the way, I guess maybe it affected him a little bit. He was gone from the house a lot, so I don't know if that's necessarily what drove me to do this. Definitely what drove me to do it was my love of the show. I think maybe seeing him being able to do what he did with no high school education, or not graduating high school, it maybe gives me the confidence to say, hey, I can perform well on camera. That might be part of it, but.
Nice. All right. So you've seen the competitions where you have to pull a card at the end. You make your choice and you pull the embarrassment card. Would you rather for a week wear the unitard, humilitard, penguin suit, or elf suit?
Probably I'd go straight for the unitard.
Yeah?
It's the easiest one.
All right. Do you think you'll be a fan hero or season villain?
I'm hoping I'll be a fan hero because being a lover of the show, I want people that are watching it and the fans to like me and root for me. So I definitely want to be a hero.
Okay, great. House meeting time comes around. Drama is inevitable. Fighter or hider?
I'm definitely a fighter. I'm going to be somebody I'm going to stand up for somebody if I see somebody that's just dogging on somebody weaker for no reason. I'm going to say, hey, there's no need for that. Take a hike or pick on somebody else that's going to stand up to you. Because I'm definitely not somebody who's going to run from a fight if I have to. I'll stand up for myself. I'm going to do it with a smile on my face without raising my voice, hopefully.
Yeah, nice. All right. So first HOH competition, win it or throw it?
If you would ask me my first year I tried out, I probably would have said throw it. But the last couple of years, one thing that stuck out to me, Hayden won the first HOH and he won. Rachel won the first HOH last year and she won. And I think if you can win that first HOH and pull that first week off gracefully without upsetting anybody too much, it's going to help you out. And plus, obviously, that first week, if you're HOH, people have to flock to you, and they're going to want to try to talk to you, and you can easily let them do all the talking, get to know them, and get a good feeling of whether or not they're going to be a good alliance member. Because I do think it's important to set your alliances earlier, because if not, somebody else will get their hook in them, and you'll never be able to get them.
That's the best answer I've heard. Tell our readers to roll it all up, sum it all up, tell our readers at BigBrotherNetwork.com what they can expect from you and why they should root for you on Big Brother this summer.
I think you can expect me to be friendly, smiles all the time, and somebody who's going to be honest to people's faces. But I think you'll see in the diary room, you're going to get to see a side that's not, what everybody else sees in the house. I've definitely been reading up on strategy books, so I'm ready to deceive, and I'm ready to be cunning and charming if I have to. So you're going to see somebody inside the house that everybody likes, but somebody in the diary room that the fans like even more.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, Frank, and good luck, and we'll be watching.
Thank you very much.